Man, have I got a sweet tooth for pinball machines, Larry? And
how have we never talked about that before? Me too.
Oh, great. Okay, so you will love Coin Op Carnival. Okay.
Wait. What's your favorite table of all time?
My favorite table has got to be Pinbot 2 Bride of the Machine.
Pinbot,
I owned it, and so I had to fix it, and I got in the guts of it.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. What about you?
8-Ball Deluxe.
I was gonna guess you're an 8-Ball Deluxe guy. That's such the classic Larry vintage pinball machine. It has to be that.
I love Embryon, Theater of Magic. You know, there was one Jungle Lord, the first Black Knight with the magnetic
Black Knight. Yeah, okay.
I hear that sometimes in my. Would you like to play the Black Knight again? I hear that in my voice. I mean, in my brain all the time.
You ever play Bonsai Run?
No, I've never heard of that one.
Okay, that's a crazy one where
is that a race game like cars?
Yeah, it's motorcycle racing.
Yes.
Off-road, but the ball goes up into the back glass.
Right. Yes.
The ball is up there where the score is and stuff. And it's an amazing game. Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about this.
Coin Op.
I'm already excited.
This is by Ryan Claytor and Nick Baldridge. And it turns out I've got a Ryan Claytor connection. Okay. He watched my show. He might be watching right now. Wouldn't be surprised. And I
love your cover, Ryan. That's great.
Well, he designed this bookmark for me back when I had an online bookstore called The Comic Bookshelf. And I wanted it to portray the sort of automated setup that I had going on for the comicbookshelf.com. It didn't work out. Comicbookshelf.com. I was supposed to do that with the late, great Rory Root before he passed away. And then sort of all the plans, it never worked out the way I wanted. And I got a few bookmarks left, Larry. So
a few, yeah. Man, good old Rory. There's a guy I miss.
Oh, he's the greatest.
Man, that guy. Yeah.
Well,
do a whole show on him.
Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address I showed before, and I'll send you one of these. But I'm going to send the rest to Ryan, and he's going to give them out as part of his Kickstarter that he's got going on. Let's talk about Coin Op Carnival, Elephant Eater Comics. That's Ryan. He was so professional. Of all, you know how hard it is to work with artists and comic artists and stuff. Like, it's like for something like a bookmark or something like professional. Like that's not a graphic designer, right? But this guy is like graphic designer at his heart and is great at it. Elephant Eater Comics. He makes these killer stickers. He's got a great business card. It's really nice. And then he also designs neon signs. And you can't tell, this is like a lenticular business card for his neon sign shop. Okay. Amazing custom neon signs because he's got pinball arcades himself. All right. What is Coin Op Carnival? Well, it is a comic and not just a comic. It's more like a pinball or electro-mechanical rather fanzine. I don't know what you want to call it, but this sort of the origin story of how these guys started talking about it. They both really love pinball, old-fashioned mechanical, electromechanical pinball. Get rid of me here. And so they talked about it and decided, hey, let's do a comic. They did some research. They did interviews with the world's most prolific pinball designer, Wayne Nyans. There's a great interview, meticulously illustrated, just like lovingly documenting Wayne's rise to power in the pinball design world. Like, who's telling this story, Larry? Nobody else is telling this story.
No, this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff, and it's like a great comic. And then we get into this stuff where interviews with just beautiful, well thought out, laid out, and designed. Can you tell I like this, man?
Oh, rightly so. This is amazing.
Full color, just beautifully designed. It's got page numbers, which I love. Historical interest. And then we start getting into, okay, and if that wasn't good enough, I'm like, okay, this guy's into pinball. He's talking about pinball history. Wow, that's great. This couldn't be any better. This could not be more up Danny Shaheen's alley until he's getting into old electromechanical games. Like, yeah, this is great. This is awesome. And then we hit, dude, the technical electromechanical tech explained, Larry.
Wow, that's cool.
So these early pinball games were designed. These are the ones. Electromechanical means there is no digital computer at all involved in these pinball machines. They're entirely electromechanical relays. It's just electricity and switches and stuff and mechanical movements driving the logic of these games. This explains how a bank of trip relays work, like the true internal workings of some of the most fun and beautiful machines ever made. Like, I think of pinball machines as the original interactive art, one of the first interactive art things, because you have to put in time and effort and build skill and spend money to unlock additional art artifacts out of the pin, to get the bonus score, to get Pinbot to light up.
That's why I will always play pinball over. I don't play video games really at all. I'll play like something with my kid, but left to my own devices, I don't care about video games at all. When you can go to a bar and have a pint and hear that pop when you hit the replay, come on. It's all your skill.
Yeah. The fact that bumping the machine affects your score and play, like that tells you everything. Like
you're interacting with the game.
Yeah. Well, and then because Ryan's like, okay, Dan has already like wet himself. So why don't I include a paper craft cut out pinball machine of a classic pinball machine? Okay.
That's great.
Amazing. Look at the work put in on these logos. Just the logos.
No, it's amazing.
The beauty, Ryan. Mwah. Fantastic. Here's his tour for the 2019 release tour, right? They toured pinball arcades around the country. You can't quite see all this, right? 16 stops in 10 states, including, of course, if you've never been there, you got to go in Las Vegas to the Pinball Hall of Fame. If you haven't been there, you've got to check it out. It's fantastic. It's just an acre of pinball machines that just take quarters, no entry fee. You just go in, you put quarters in, and they have everything. People from all over the country donate their pinball machines to the Pinball Hall of Fame.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Hey, you've been to the one in Alameda, haven't you? The Museum of the Pacific.
Believe it or not, I've never made it out to that one.
That was the last thing that Walker and I did before the shutdown for the Rona. We were like, we got to get this in. So we drove over to Alameda and played for like 6 hours.
So Coin Op Carnival reminded me of something. And I was like, I'd never seen anything else that really reminded me of it. I don't know too many people who even know about this. Larry, you ever see PS Magazine?
Yeah. That's the Will Eisner stuff.
Yeah.
That he did for the Army. Yeah. I used to have a few of those.
I found them recently in a bookstore here, Eureka Books. They had them for like $1 or something each. And then there was a collected copy that a graphic novel that I bought too that collected these in hardcover. Oh,
no kidding. That's cool.
I should grab that. But it's this combination of comics and technical drawing and explaining things, complicated things using comics that just turns me on, dude. Big time. Yeah,
it was basically a comic book instruction manual for soldiers for some of the tougher stuff that just made it go down easier,
Yeah, like look at this stuff. This is like, is your regulator, is your starter motor in shape? Like, here's the thing. And then some nice comics, like look at this beautiful Will Eisner comics. So these are by a master of comics, not just some dude they hired off the street, right? This is amazing, beautiful, gorgeous.
I agree.
Rarely seen stuff. All right.
Guys like you and me know about that, though. I remember Maggie Thompson from the Comic Book Buyer's Guide was really into those, 30 years ago. Yeah.
Well, and so the other thing that this reminded me of, both in paper stock and sort of in its blending of comics, not fiction and nonfiction. I don't know if you've